All right, let's talk about Matt Stafford, who I tweeted out that I actually kind of think Matt Stafford might have been the best quarterback in football this week. I probably would pick him if there's like a weekly award for who was the best. I thought he was great in this game, and this is kind of maybe what we forgot about when we were previewing the Rams. Is like, yeah, Stafford is capable of doing this. He sometimes goes through his ups and downs. That's totally reasonable to say. Even the Super Bowl, year, he sort of had his slump, kind of, the 3/4 of the way through the season, but when he is on, and he was on against Seattle. This play, we'll start off with it where it's a man coverage play. You see the route on the screen. Okay, a route that can work, right? Can get you some yards here. And given the situation, it's third down, you have to get to the 35-yard line for a first. All right, well, that's something that you could look towards. Stafford, though, when he takes a snap, that's not even where he was looking right away. He looks towards the bottom of the screen, and in fact, at this point, he still isn't looking at the route that I have highlighted. He's still looking further towards the bottom of the screen, and that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about in this video that he does so well, is he uses his eyes to get players out of position, but also it feels like he has such a fast processor, right? Right when he sees something is open, he can fire it through. Because when he eventually does get over to that route, he makes a perfectly accurate throw, and he didn't have a lot of time to know exactly where he should make the throw. A lot of that is just feel. He has a great feel for where he should put the football, and that's exactly what he was able to do right there. Also, something like this is so underrated when it comes to good quarterback play, but so important. I feel like this is kind of what separates the okay quarterbacks from the good ones, is just this simple little thing. Watch as when Stafford takes the snap, it's a flea flicker. He hands the ball off, the halfback gives it back to him, and this isn't going well, right? A defender was not fooled, is right in Stafford's face right here. Maybe even was fooled a little bit, but just quickly read it and is able to get over and try and make a play on Stafford. And I don't know if it's just like a this week thing, but I feel like this week I've seen so many players get in these situations when doing my film studies and just completely self-destruct and have it be a fumble, or have it be they're trying to throw the ball down the field and throw an interception, or just take a bad sack or something. Stafford just throws it into the dirt right here, and that's one of the really important aspects of football that's almost getting overlooked a little bit and almost getting lost in the shuffle of all these players who can make these great plays. Is like minimizing damage is such an important aspect of the game. And you see, like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, like all the great quarterbacks are the ones who also know when a play is dead and to just throw it into the dirt. Like this one's another great example where it's zone coverage. To me, this is a great play where watch what's going to happen on this one. Stafford takes a snap right here. First, he's going to look towards the bottom of the screen, and yeah, nothing's really open. Again, you could throw the check down, but I don't know. Seattle looks like they'd be all over it. So Stafford, not going to look in that direction. Instead, he looks further towards the left. He's going to look a little bit further down the field. And again, could he make that throw? You could, but I don't know. There's a corner on it. You're going to have to make a really accurate throw if you do. I kind of agree with Stafford in not making that throw either. So instead, he looks further underneath now. He's now going to his third option, which is, again, he's looked at every single eligible receiver at this point. This is also not open. So what does he do? Well, okay, he finally is going to throw it into the dirt right there, and, only got hit a little bit right there. I mean, that's kind of the internal clock, right? Of don't wait until you're absolutely sure you're about to get hit to throw the ball away sometimes. Sometimes it's not open. And again, it looked like a player did kind of get open finally at the end away from where he's looking, but you can't look at everyone at once, so that is something that's going to happen. To me, this is an incredible play to show that he literally checked every single eligible receiver. None of them were open when he was looking at it, and eventually threw the ball away to minimize damage. But of course, it's not just about minimizing damage. You have to make the throws as well and make things happen as well, and he certainly did that, where this is exactly kind of what happened a lot for the Rams. Is Seattle's playing a lot of zone, as they have always done under Pete Carroll. It's not always cover 3, but this time it is. The way the concept works is that, the Seattle player covering just over the middle of the field there can only cover either shallow or deep. You throw it the other way. All right, simple enough. Let's see how it works. Stafford is going to take the snap right here. He looks over, and again, you could kind of throw this underneath. This is actually not obvious, I don't think, where you should throw it. But it's obvious to Stafford, he does push it down the field. It makes a perfectly accurate throw, and they're able to gain some yards. And it was just a consistency thing with Stafford. He was just consistently hitting on these types of plays, and that's what I was so impressed with. Again, having a high batting average is incredibly important, and this was probably the main thing he was able to do in this one. Yes, he had some no-look passes. Yes, he had some, great scanning the field type plays and seeing things that other quarterbacks weren't able to see. But sometimes it's just as simple as this. It's just read the play. Where do you have to throw it to? Okay, put it there and put it there in a hurry. And that's exactly what he was able to do so consistently, and really didn't have hardly any errors in this one, I didn't think. And then there was this play, which, like, the stats were already really good for Stafford. I mean, the numbers were already something you feel good about, with the 334 yards on 38 attempts, no touchdowns, but they had 3 short rushing touchdowns that were the reason why, and no interceptions. So really good statistical day. But it honestly could have been a lot better if this was a catch where it's zone coverage. You have a receiver running a deep route that's eventually going to get over the middle. Stafford takes the snap and rolls out towards the top of the screen. The route that I've circled, this wasn't designed to be open. This was designed to get the corner and the safety further deep, and hopefully the more over the middle route gets open. But every now and then this happens, and if it does, you hope your quarterback sees it, and Stafford does see it here. As you see, Stafford is going to push it down the field, and that's just dropped. But that was a good throw, and again, that would have gained a ton of yards right there. Would have gained like 50 more yards or so, and would have put him over 10 yards per attempt on the day, which, he was still pretty good. He's not complaining. The Rams aren't complaining. And I would also mention this wasn't the highest degree of difficulty type play or anything like that, but, a lot of times people just look at the stats sheet and then say, oh, that's how the player played. What I try to do here is say, sometimes they were better than the stat sheet, sometimes they were worse than the stat sheet. And while I thought that, Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell both had very good games, they both had 119 yards, I personally thought that Stafford really went above and beyond in this one. So what does this mean for the Rams? What does this mean for Stafford? Have they been slept on? Well, I mean, yeah, and I still think about how, I sort of jokingly tweeted out that the Lions should trade back for Matthew Stafford, get an upgrade at quarterback, and a lot of Lions fans actually really disagreed with me and said, like, no, we have Jared Goff. Why do we need Stafford now? I was very surprised by, and I think the reason wasn't necessarily Lions fans felt like Stafford at his best is worse than Jared Goff at his best. It was more so people were concerned about Stafford's age and what is he still going to be able to do coming off of an injury. Clearly, a lot of good stuff. Clearly, he still is very good at football. I'm not sure if he's going to play at this elite level every game because, again, Stafford's issues have never really been he can't play at an elite level. It's more so he often struggles at just doing it consistently. So we definitely have to, wait and see on, how good exactly he is. But what this does tell me is that he's still Matthew Stafford. I'm expecting him to still be a very good quarterback who at times is going to be an elite quarterback. And, like I said, one of the times he was an elite quarterback was when they won the Super Bowl. That postseason run was incredible. So for the Rams, I don't know. They looked good. I thought that a lot of these young, unproven players, sure, they're on paper, this is not the most talented team. But you know what? Sometimes 6th round picks and 7th round picks and mid round picks end up playing good football, and maybe the Rams have a bunch of them playing that are good because they certainly played good this game. So yeah, I would be excited if I'm a Rams fan, and Stafford's great. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.